Most people know about elderberry syrup, but did you know that you can make a powerful immune boosting tincture that lasts for years right in your own kitchen? As a registered nurse and health coach, I'll show you exactly how to make it, break down the science, and explain why tinctures are much more effective than syrup.
Hey Reigning One, if you love DIY remedies, self-sufficiency, and evidence-based natural health, you're in the right place. Today, I'll show you how to make elderberry tincture, walk you through the different base liquids you can use, and share some surprising health benefits of elderberry you might not know about. Let's start with why elderberry has been such a superstar in herbal medicine for centuries. Elderberries are packed with anthocyanins, the pigments that give them that deep purple color, and their antiviral punch. Alongside flavonoids like quercetin, these compounds help reduce inflammation and strengthen your immune system. And here's the science. Earlier clinical trials found that elderberry extract shortened flu duration by as much as 4 days compared to placebo. More recent reviews show mixed results, but strong enough that researchers are still studying elderberry's antiviral effects today. And you know, if you've used it yourself, honey, it works, okay? I just think they're trying to hate on something you can grow in your backyard. When you make a tincture with alcohol, you're extracting both water-soluble and fat-soluble compounds. That means you get a more complete, concentrated remedy your body can actually use. So what does that actually mean for you? Here are some of the top ways elderberry supports health. Immune support, packed with antioxidants that help your body fight free radicals and keep your defenses strong. Antiviral action. Research suggests elderberry may help block viruses, including certain flu strains, from entering your cells. Inflammation fighter. Helps calm chronic inflammation, which supports cardiovascular health and overall wellness. Nutrient dense. Naturally rich in vitamins A, B, and C, plus minerals like iron and potassium. Brain and blood sugar support. Early studies show promise for memory and healthy blood sugar balance. Respiratory and digestive health, traditionally used to soothe coughs, ease sinus pressure, and support healthy digestion. And as an RN, what I love most is that elderberry doesn't overstimulate your immune system. It works with your body's natural defenses, making it both safe and effective. You've probably seen elderberry syrup recipes, but here's the difference. Tinctures are next level. Potency higher than syrup. Shelf life 2 to 5 years versus just like 90 days for syrup. Convenience is shelf stable, no refrigeration needed. Bioavailability, it's more concentrated. It's easier for your body to absorb. In short, a tincture gives you more power in just a few drops. What makes a tincture? It's all about the menstruum, honey, which is the liquid that extracts the herbal goodness from the plant. So you have alcohol, most commonly used is vodka, 40%, which is 80 proof. It's best for maximum potency and it has the longest shelf life, up to 5 years. Vegetable glycerin is great for kids or anyone avoiding alcohol. It has a sweeter taste. It only has about a 2-year shelf life. You have apple cider vinegar. It's mineral rich, it's tangy, but it has the shortest shelf life, only 1 to 2 years. If potency and storage matter, alcohol is my go-to. But all three have their place depending on your needs. You can give your children the alcohol version. Of course, I recommend children over 2 years old. I'll share the information about the dosage. And if you're concerned about the alcohol at all, you can just pour hot water over it and let it cool down. That hot water will help evaporate most of the alcohol. Now, before we jump into making our tincture, let's talk about how much herb to actually use, because this can be confusing if you've never done it before. I will be leaving information in the description so you can dig further into this. And if you're new, Rosemary Glasstar has a great beginner's guide, and all of that information plus more will be in the description. There are really 2 main approaches to tincture making, the folk method and the ratio method. The folk method is the one most home herbalists use. You don't need a scale, you don't need to measure, you simply fill your jar 1/3 of the way with the dried herbs, or about 2/3 if you're using fresh herbs since they still hold water. Then you pour your menstruum until the herbs are completely covered, plus an extra inch or two above the plant material. You seal it, shake it, and you let it sit, and that's it. It's simple, beginner friendly, and honestly very effective. The other approach is the ratio method, which is more precise. With this method, you weigh out your herbs and you measure your liquid. For example, you might use a 1:5 ratio with dried herbs, meaning 1 part herb by weight to 5 part herbs alcohol by volume. You get a more standardized tincture, which is what many professional herbalists and supplement companies prefer. For this video, I'm going to use the folk method because it's easy, it works, and it's perfect if you're just getting started making remedies at home. If you're not going to be mass producing or selling the herbs, you don't need to do the weighing and the measuring. But if you are interested in that, I will be posting a link to a book that you can get to give you more information, more details about it in the description. Let's get started making our tincture. You're going to need a clean glass jar with a lid. If you're using the canning lids, it's best to have parchment paper in between the jar and the lid to prevent rust, or you could use a plastic lid. Of course, you're going to need your elderberries and your vodka, 40% alcohol, which is 80 proof. If you're going to use glycerin, you can mix 60% glycerin with 40% water. You're going to need a strainer, and I use the dark amber dropper bottles to store my tinctures in. So I'll put all of this information and links that mostly everything I get off Amazon. Doesn't matter what kind of vodka you get. I like to use organic vodka. But if you're not going to use organic vodka, as long as you get your vodka in a jar, in a glass, it's not that deep. Okay, whatever vodka they got on sale that's in a glass container, honey, get it and go on to make this tincture. Okay, so I have 1 cup of dried elderberries, and I'm using a quart-sized jar. You just want your jar to be big enough so that, of course, it could hold the fluid and it could hold the herb. Then you're going to add your vodka. That's going to be 1 cup, and then you're going to add more so that it is at least 2 inches above the level of the berries. Now you may have to wait like a few days until the berries get saturated and they kind of soak down, and you'll be able to see that like in this picture right here, you'll be able to see that it's 2 inches above, and you can add more as you need it. Okay, so you want to sit it someplace that's not in direct sunlight, but sit it in some place where you're going to be able to see it every day, so you can shake it every day for 7 days, and then once a week you're gonna let this sit in the jar before you strain it for 4 to 6 weeks. If you're using the metal canning lids, it's best practice to put the parchment paper, which I forgot, in between. You only need 1, 2 is not, you don't need 2, but you may have to change it out in between the jar and the actual lid, just to prevent rust. And then you want to make sure you label it. If you're using the plastic lids, this part is not necessary. I also wanted to show you vegetable glycerin. Now, I don't use it to make tinctures because, again, I prefer alcohol because I want all the properties pulled out. But if you have children, you may want to use it. And I've had this container for 10,000 years because I don't use it a lot, but I do use it in my product making. And so I wanted to show you the consistency of it. It's like a thick syrup, and I never tasted it. So I tasted it. It tastes like plain, flavorless corn syrup. But it's low on the glycemic index, so it doesn't affect your blood sugar. Like, it's not, your body doesn't process it the same as sugar. So it is an alternative for you, and I just wanted to show you what that looks like. Now, if you love the idea of immune support but don't want to wait weeks or source all the ingredients, I've created something special, my Rain Immunity Blend. It combines elderberry with mullein for lung support, lemon balm for its antiviral and calming effects, and oregano for even more immune power. It's shelf stable, RN formulated, and ready to go. I'll link it below if you'd like to check it out. Once your tincture has been sitting for 4 to 6 weeks, it's time to strain. I'm using a paint thinner, a paint strainer bag I got from Home Depot. You could use a cheesecloth or some other type of straining material. I do also have a tincture press, but I'm not using that today. So you're just going to strain all of the solids from the liquid, because all of the properties of the plant material now have been transferred into your liquid. You can compost this plant material, so don't toss it in the garbage. But once you strain it, all you need to do is you can rinse out the jar that you actually use to tincture it and put it right back in there, or you could put it in an amber glass bottle, which is what I'm doing, and I'll post links to all of this in the description. You're going to label it, and now you are ready to use your tincture.
I hope this video was helpful to you. Remember, you can use this formula to make any herbal tincture, not just elderberry. If you have a comment or question, leave it down below. I love hearing from you. And be sure to subscribe for more RN approved health and wellness tips. And if you'd rather not wait weeks to make your own, remember, I have my Rain Immunity Blend ready to go. I'll put the link to that in the description. And if you're looking for my gardening, canning, and preserving content, that's now on my new channel, Rain Homestead. And I'll leave that link in the description too. Remember to live your dreams, achieve your goals, and reign in health and wellness.